being really competitive is a gift and a curse. Yeah. But like if you wanna be a winner, you gotta act like one. So I'm never mad at anybody for being like very competitive about anything, or taking something seriously. Ever. I hate when people like talk about content or streaming. I know what they mean by it, which is why I don't really like hate it, but when people give advice on streaming and they go, it's not a competition, so therefore don't be competitive. And I'm like, hold on. A lot of things that sum up someone being competitive are more so someone just not necessarily trying to push others down, just trying to do well. And sometimes they give advice that at heart is good. Like, don't be competitive, as in don't like treat it like really badly. Like, yeah, of course, don't. But sometimes the way they give that advice like pushes it too far over to the other end of the spectrum, where they're like, everyone's best friends here and you have to support everybody. And I'm like, well, you should be nice to everyone, but you don't have to like bend over backwards. And people will be like, every time you get rated, you have to shout out everyone. Like it gets to that point sometimes. And I'm like, hold on, like you're that's nice, but like, these aren't like rules, you know what I mean? They say it like it's like a rule, like if you don't, you're super rude and you're only doing it because you're like competitive or something, you know what I mean? Like sometimes people give this advice in a way that like demonizes you not bending over backwards to be the opposite of competitive, right? Like they want everyone to be so giving with their time, and I'm like, hold on, how can you have time to do any of your own shit? Or like it's okay to prioritize supporting your friends over people that you don't know that well. You don't have to like be that good to every single person, right? And I don't know, maybe this is just me. I feel like it is competitive, but not in a bad way. Just logically and by definition, right? The definition of competition is there's some sort of resource or award or title or something or whatever that you want to get, and other people might want to get it, but only one can actually get it, right? Now this is if we're pretending that this is 100% like zero sum, right? Which it's not exactly, it is and isn't. If you had like 100 people on the platform looking for someone to watch at that exact moment, and there were 100 streamers, it's not like every viewer is going to go like one by one to every streamer and everyone's gonna have one viewer. People are gonna like, one dude does something really fun that day and people are gonna be like, oh, that's a really fun event and I want to watch it, so they go watch that dude. That by definition is competitive, but it doesn't mean you have to be shitty about it. I don't know. I think when people give advice, they say it in a way that makes people afraid to talk about the push and pull nature of it like that. It's fine to talk realistically about it as long as you're not, again, like a piece of shit about it, you know? Or so I feel. I don't know. There's nothing wrong with stuff being like that, I feel. Or like admitting that yes, there's a competitive aspect to it. It doesn't mean by nature you're like, there's a competition, so I'm gonna step down on others. You don't like punch downward or anything, but you know, I don't know. It's usually the way they word it. I don't know if they mean it like that every time, but like I'm not crazy for saying it is competitive, right? It's just not shitty competitive unless you make it like that. I'm just talking about by nature, and like, not that you need to like treat it harshly that way. I don't know, I feel like that's a very reasonable take, or so I think, but I was talking to someone about it a while back and they were like, that's horrible that you think that, and I was like, what? But it functionally is. Like, I'm not, what? It was confusing for me. Most aspects of life are competitive. Yeah, right? I think that's totally okay. Like, dog, I played in an orchestra for how many years? I played in all different orchestras. People were super competitive, but they were also capable of being really nice about it a lot of the time too. I don't know, it just depended on who you were dealing with, right? It's like a person to person thing. I also see like, if you admit like this stuff is competitive by nature in a way, I think that's also leading to being able to support people properly, right? Like if my friend is having a major event that day, then sometimes I'll still stream, but I'm not gonna also plan like my major event that day, right? I'll make sure I'm doing like a boring ass normal stream and nothing that would like draw people away too heavily. And then if fewer people show up, I'm gonna be like, okay, yeah, that's normal. They're probably over there, right? Instead of be like, ooh, did they not like that game today, or blah blah blah. Like think about that. I'll just be like, nah, there was an event, right? Which is fine. So when people go like, it's not a competition, don't treat it like that. But then they also like move out of the way when their friend has an event stream. I'm like, well, it's not the same thing. It's just you're like using one very positively, right? And depending on what it is, I mean, there were times where I just straight up wouldn't even stream when a friend was doing a thing, because I'd be like, well, I want them to have absolutely no chance of people like stopping and watch me, so I'll just not stream, haha. You know, and that way we're not vying for the same people or anything like that, right? Like people feel comfortable going, okay, I can comfortably go watch that other stream and not worry about like this other one that I want to watch too, and how do I pick, and you know, that kind of stuff. So you would be suspicious of those who say this is not a competition? I think some of them are just regurgitating advice they've heard elsewhere to sound like good. Not sound good like they know what they're talking about, but more so to be like, hey, reminder that I'm a good person person because I'm totally non-competitive. Let me tell you how. Remember, this isn't a competition. You know what I mean? I feel like I've seen it enough times where I'm like, okay, I know what you're doing here. Just don't think people need to do that stuff. Something I've realized is that in my life, anytime someone has like actually mean girled me, like straight up in a mean girl kind of thing, like textbook, they've always had an outward aura or brand, or, and like this is in person, not necessarily just creators too, like people. Their outward thing has always been that they're like, I'm a bubbly person, I'm a nice person, I'm soft, I love Animal Crossing, I love, you know what I mean? Like they've always been those. Every single time I've had someone like be ultra to me and my friends. I don't know why it's so consistent. I've never had someone be like, yeah, I'm gonna speak about myself pretty realistically. I don't think I'm that great of a person. I'm pretty normal, I guess. I've never had one of those like bully my friends. So what's that about? Right? Have you noticed that? I don't know if you guys have experienced that. It could just be my experience, but historically for me, that's the way it's gone. So then I'm like, oh, people that use the word cozy too much. There's like some of them that are actually cozy, and then a lot of them that like, I don't know. I've been a little traumatized in the past. I don't know why it's so consistent too. Have you guys ever, like, have you seen that? Is that you as well, or is that just me? I've had a few friends say they've experienced the same thing, and I'm like, I don't know if that's just a creator thing or general shared life experience. But I feel like everyone that was like ever my biggest op is one of those people that has to like self-describe a lot, and then they self-describe as a nice person a lot, and I feel like that's a key indicator now, right? Or like high likelihood this person's actually going to be really mean to you. So then, you know, I like to give people benefit of the doubt where I can and hope they'll be good. But when I hear someone be like, come on guys, it's not a competition, we're all in this together, I'm like, are you one of the ones that believes that, or are you one of the ones who's going to say that and then turn around and do some crazy shit that's not going to be known about for like 5 years? You know what I mean? Until you get canceled eventually. I don't know how they sleep at night, like a baby. That's how they sleep at night. They're like, yay, I did that. Close their eyes and have lovely dreams, I bet. I don't know. I just felt like I dealt with so many of those girls in like dance, especially